What's going on, YouTube? We back in the lab. It's been a while since I've done a haircut tutorial. I got quite a few coming up that we got in the chamber, so look out for these haircut tutorials. The last time I cut this client up was a few years ago. Since then, she's got a whole new look, whole new style. She's laying everything down and doing the kind of like a mid to low fade. It's not like a low fade, but it's not a high fade. I think it just contours her hair amazing. So we're doing a number 3 closed with the grain, and I'm using my Snap FXs. I've had these for quite a while, but I didn't have a base for them. So Babyliss was kind enough to send me a base so I can charge my batteries. And we're just making sure that we're looking at the direction that the hair is growing, starting from the crown, because to me, that's the most difficult part. That's the easiest part to mess up, because if you go the wrong direction there, boy, you're gonna have a hole. You guys can see it's taking off quite a bit of hair because it's been a month since she's gotten a haircut. And the fringe area is tricky with her because it's so wavy. So it wants to curl in the front, doesn't really want to lay down nicely. I try to get that number 3 real close in that area, so I go a few times in the front area. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start the fade process now that we've cut the top, and I'm using a number 3 closed all the way up to the parietal ridge. We're trying to keep a bunch of that bulk, keep it dark and not fade too high into that bulk of hair. And then we're gonna go ahead and start to bald her out. And you guys can see I'm gonna leave a ghost line. All I call a ghost line is when people want a C cut, what I try to do is leave that as dark as possible and fade around it, because she does still want, you know, some C cut, but she wants it bald on the side. So this is the best way to achieve that. So you guys can see I'm balding it out, and I'm making sure that it's parallel with the parietal ridge there. So we want the same distance from that bald line to the parietal ridge all the way through to get a nice even fade. And then when we get to the sideburns, you guys can see I drop down quite a bit. That way we can keep that ghost line. All right, once we've balded her out, we're gonna go ahead and start with the blade all the way open, creating my first guideline. And you'll notice when I get to the sideburn, boom, I leave it dark. We'll worry about fading that in a little bit later, because we gotta be able to control the gradients there. And I'm doing the same thing here on this side. You guys can see I left the sideburn. And what I'm gonna do, guys, just so you're aware of what we're building here, I'm gonna create all my guidelines first, and then I'm gonna fade down. Guidelines are supposed to just be a map to get directly to where you need to go and create efficiency. I get the whole argument, oh, but then you got to take out lines. To me, that's not a big deal. All it is to stay controlled and know where you're at all times. With her hair, I'm telling you, I can give your favorite barber her hair to cut and they're going to struggle. She drives an hour and a half to come see me because she's been to a lot of barbers that charge premium rates, and they can't seem to get her hair right. You know, a lot of times there'll be comments where, you know, people will be like, oh, you know, that was an easy hair. Guys, all of my vets who've been cutting hair a long time, you don't really know how difficult somebody's hair is, how difficult a specific canvas is, until you've actually felt it. It's like looking at a mattress and saying that, yeah, that's a comfortable mattress. It's not until you lay in it that you know whether it's comfortable or not, right? Or a pair of sneakers, whatever it may be. All right, so next guideline, we're gonna do with our number 1 guard all the way open. That's my next guideline. And then after that, we're gonna go ahead and do the number 2 guard open. Now from there, we can go ahead and start to fade down. I think I went back to my number 3 guard just to take out that line a little bit that was created with the 2 guard open. And then from there, we'll go to 2 closed. All the way around, guys, all the way around. Don't move on to the next section until the section you're working on feels good, right? Until it looks good. It's not gonna be perfect because you gotta go back in detail a little bit later anyways if you're that type of barber, but you need it to be good enough. So once you've done that in each section, and now we're breaking out the 1.5 guard. So I like to start off with the 1.5 guard all the way open because you never know how the hair is gonna react, and then we'll close it as we go down and start to blend this new section out. You guys can see it's starting to get gradient. Now that I'm all the way closed with that 1.5 guard, you guys can see that line is starting to erase and that section is starting to blend. From there, we're gonna move down to our number 1 guard open, which is what we created that guideline with. And we'll start to close that 1 guard open little by little. If I started all the way open, every quarter of the way down, I'm closing it up some. So you should have about 4 clicks. So if you started 1 guard all the way open, the next one, you might be able to do midway open right beneath that, then a quarter of the way open right beneath that, and then all the way closed right beneath that. By the time you've gone through each of those steps all the way around, that section should be completely blended. And guys, if you want the extended version of this, subscribe to the Tomb 45 Academy. It's 20 bucks a month. You cancel anytime. There are hundreds of haircut tutorials, full-length tutorials from myself, Sean Cuts Hair, Get Beamed, Kendrick's. There's a bunch of tutorials in there from all kinds of amazing barbers you guys can get. Watch them, cancel, whatever you need to do. But at least you'll be able to get the full extended versions that don't do well on YouTube. All right, so once you've done the one guard all the way through, you might want to touch it up with the half guard right underneath that. And then after the half guard, if it's completely blended, then you'll go back to your blade, no guard, all the way open. Now that we're at the blade all the way open with no guard, we'll go ahead and same process. We'll start to close it up, go right beneath the blade. So if this was the blade all the way open, we'll go a couple clicks. Now you got to kind of fill out the hair. You might want to do one click first and see what it does, and then go midway, see what it does, close it up a quarter of the way. And by the time you're all the way closed, that bottom line and the entire fade should be completed. This is, obviously before you start to detail. You guys can see how that line is starting to erase and how that blend is starting to come together. And it's really going to come to life, guys, when you go ahead and start to do the lineup. And the reason why I say that is because it might look different. You're so focused on the cut, it's looking amazing. But once you do the lineup, you'll be able to see imperfections in the haircut and you'll be able to make those improvements. Now, this is the part I hate the most about her hair, and that is the lineup in the front. So I like to start off dry and and remember, a lot of this is fringe. I'm not pushing her back. This is a lot of fringe, which means a lot of overhanging hair. So her hairline might be, where my hairline is, but the hair is growing all the way down here. I start here in the middle and I start to walk this all the way through, keeping an eye on that corner that I'm gonna land on. Okay, right here from this corner, you can see her vertical bars are very, very light. We have to try to keep those vertical bars natural. I'm gonna leave that for last. So what I'm gonna do now is work on the C cup. And then once the C cup is done, I can go ahead and create that squared look with that vertical bar, using my corners of my blade to create that C cup. And the same thing with her hairline here in the front. Her C cup has a lot of overhanging hair. So her C cup is naturally higher and more so of a kind of like a square. If you were here in person, you'd be able to see that I'm using hair that's kind of growing down to try to make that C cup more rounded and keep it lower. All right, so look how we're keeping that vertical bar as natural as possible, and it's coming together. And so it's coming together. Now that it's lined up, we're going to continue to touch up this lineup, continue to touch it up. Okay, I might exchange to a brush. I might go with some water, whatever it may be, until that lineup looks pretty good. At the very end, I'll touch it up again, because by the very end, the air hose, any movement, any rubbing, her hairline's gonna look totally different. So we need to make sure that it looks good regardless. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the shaver. That is one of the main things that she prioritizes, is that shaver, so that it's nice and smooth in the back. And so we make sure we take our time with the shaver, get it as tight as possible. And she loves enhancements. All right, so anyways, we're using our clutch card. Only thing she likes enhanced is the size. She don't like the front enhanced and a little bit of the C cup enhanced. That's another thing that she prioritizes. A lot of barbers don't want to use enhancements. It's an ego thing. I get it, but I'm here to serve my clients. So whatever clients like it, I'm going to do it. The cut needs to look good before the enhancements. And please don't come into the comment sections and tell me, what did I hide with the cut? You guys have seen the entire process, and I'm not done with the haircut. I didn't do the razor, didn't do some of the detailing, but you guys seen the haircut. It's a good haircut before the enhancement. And then I'll go in and detail some more, because that contrast, that darkness there might create more contrast and might show me some more imperfections on the fade. Essentially, I like it to match the darkest natural area on my client. I like the enhancement to match that. All right, and you guys can see, again, I'm coming back after enhancements. I've seen some imperfections on the actual fade. There's no enhancement on the fade, so my enhancement's not fixing the fade. What's going on here is, after I enhance the hairline, it's darker, so it shows more contrast, and so it shows more imperfections. It highlights the imperfections. And so I'm going in with my clipper and fixing the fade a little bit more. Not fixing the fade with enhancements like a lot of people think. Now here, where I said it's pretty light, I'm combing the hair up just to kind of make it darker in this area, because this enhancement is designed to go on the skin and stain the skin. It's not a semi-permanent, which legally shouldn't be put on the skin. It's unsafe to put on the skin. So anybody that's marketing a semi-permanent, be careful, Because if you have a client that breaks out because they're allergic to some ingredients in that semi-permanent, you could be liable to that hospital bill. I've seen people's junk swell up. So this one is safe for the skin. This is the Tomb 45 no drip. You can get it at tomb45.com. You guys seen the before? Check out the before. Check out the before. Now check out the after. That thing blurry. Sheesh. Hey man, shout out to my client Chassie. She's been coming for me for years. She drives an hour and a half to come see me every single week. This one was a month out because she went on vacation. But yeah, man, that's the video I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want the extended version, it'll be on the Academy. You can sign up. The link is down below. And by the way, this video was sponsored by tomb45.com and Pi Accounting. Pi Accounting, where your financial freedom starts. All right. Thanks, guys.